Well, that's something I just found out. I didn't know I could put the comments over the intro. So, welcome, Hobby Time, also known as GB. Todd, welcome to the stream. And my comments pop up twice because I'm streaming both to my channel and to Hobby Time Modelers. Welcome. Working on the Routemaster again tonight. Looked through. I've got stages 24 through 29 lined up. I doubt I'm going to get that far. Almost finished with the Little Nelly from You Only Live Twice. Thanks, Todd. And thank you for doing the overlay. I love it. I think it is awesome. Todd is our resident computer geek on Hobby Time Modelers. He did the overlay. He did the logos for Hobby Time Modelers. He took the ones that Eric had made and redid them, made them look a little bit more professional. It's really pretty cool what he does for us. So it's was kind of funny too, because I started the I started the intro and thought I started the stream, and I'm like, okay, about a minute and a half in, I'm looking and I look over and I'm like, start stream. I'm like, really? Okay, so I restarted, which means I started a little bit late. Let me go ahead and get this bag situated. And let me switch cameras, because I will tell you right now, this hat is hot. It is very hot. Because it is currently 90 degrees outside, which makes it 81 here in this shop. According to my computer, it's supposed to be 100 degrees outside, but on the other day it said rain to stop, and there wasn't a cloud in the sky. So, like I said, working on issue 24 today, starting with issue 24. Let me bring over the chassis. This is where I left off on 23. And actually moving this around and everything, doing some other stuff, I knocked this part loose. I was like, no, because it looks very fragile. But a lot of work going to be going on the chassis today. Hey, Blue Street, welcome. Working on the Routemaster again tonight. Appreciate you stopping in. So let me get some parts out. I've got the manual up on the monitor to my right. Let me zoom out just a hair so I can, oops, I zoomed in, so I can see everything as I take it out. And I have a screw box. Went on Amazon. I've got several of these around the house. I just don't know where any empty ones are. They work really well. There's, I think, what is it? I think it's 64 areas to put screws. Hang on, let me see. Todd says that my logo is sitting. Oh, that's actually the YouTube, the one coming from YouTube. And if I can remember, let's see if I can remember how to make it go away. My channel, customize channel, branding, and that's interesting. It's supposed to be at the end of the video, but apparently because it is a live stream, it's there for the entire video. So that should make it go away. Of course, it helps if you hit publish. True, might not go away till the next stream. We'll see what happens. I did hit publish, so yeah, it's going to stay there. Shoo, what's up? Actually, I'm forgetting the comments, and Blue Streak popped in, said, howdy, Buck. He's working on the dozer and doing some recording. I will tell you, Blue Streak, I eyeball that dozer all the time. If it's the one that I'm thinking of, I keep thinking about it. If I get it, I'm going to get it with the trailer. And Todd and I were talking about my logo, my watermark logo sitting over the Hobby Time Modelers logo. Schumann's popped in. Was watching NASA space flight, SpaceX doing some spin-up tests on Booster 7, then boom, accidental ignition, had my earphone on the boom. Oh, not good. I will tell you, I fully understand how you feel. I have tinnitus. It's like I tell my wife, it's never quiet in my world. She gets concerned sometimes because she's watching TV at night when when I go to sleep, because she's got insomnia. Oh, that's cool, Blue Streak. She's got a little bit of insomnia, and so she's up much later than I am. And she is concerned when I go to sleep. Sometimes the TV gets loud at night, and I have asked her to turn it down at night when I'm fully asleep. But she gets concerned when I'm going to sleep, and I say, when I'm going to sleep, doesn't matter. It actually drowns out the ringing in my ears. I think a lot of us that were in the military, especially if we worked around any kind of engines whatsoever, have ringing in our ears forever. Very cool. Looking forward to seeing it on your channel there. I want to say, now I'm going to stick with blue. I want to say first name was Mark, but I'm not going to bank on it. Okay, so now that I've got all the screws put away, let me pull up the PDF because I've got the YouTube on the other page. So we've got the gearbox casing, several lines here. 24C is this one here. That's a valve. D is more valves. E is a cover, tank, and tank end. 24H, regulator, not sure. That should be this one here. Actually, this is the valves. 24I is a connector, valve base, valve block, another line, a cover. Hey, Eric, welcome to the stream. That could be shooting a 50 cal, probably. Okay, I will call you Mark instead. I like first names better than just your channel name. And when I retired from the Air Force, they actually, VA did some tests and everything else, and my tinnitus was worth a whole, wait for it, 10%. They adjusted my baseline, which I don't know how many people will know what that means. Eric said, howdy. Semi-retired Canadian sniper. Still cool. Very cool. But I lost my train of thought. Look at that. What are the odds of that? What are the odds of two marks showing up? Hang on just a second. Let me see. The back phone is ringing. Hey, what's up? Yes. That's okay. Bye. So that was my wife. Didn't get shit for yours. You have to hit 30% to get anything at all out of the VA. Okay, there, Eric, Army, U.S. Army Combat Engineer. Yeah, that was my wife. She was calling and she said, "Are you streaming already?" And I said, "Yep." She's not used to me streaming at 5 yet. Okay, so that just pushes in there. And then, by the way, these two parts are plastic. This one is metal. And this goes in here. Double check. There's 3 holes, or no, 2 holes that'll fit in. I was about to go in the wrong one. Goes in here like this. There's 2 posts in here. Holes in there for 2 EM screws. Let me see if I can, since I'll be working in all silver parts, let me see if that helps. It does. It doesn't glare them out now. You can still see them. $35%. They bumped you back down to 25. That sucks. That really sucks. They shouldn't be able to drop you like that, which is part of the reason I am not going back to the VA to have them relook at anything, because I don't want them to mess with my 80%. I have 2 of the big ones. I've got sleep apnea and I've got arthritis. Both of them, they service connected. The way I been feeling these days, feeling my age these days. Almost forgot to do the oil. Feeling my age these days, I probably, if everything I've got going on right now was service connected, it would probably put me at 100%. That one started. Yes, you do, Eric. And it all started with 2 yahoos. Shu said they did that to almost everybody at the time. That's one of the things. I was fortunate. I was in during the Clinton era, and I was still in after he left. I left in the middle of the Obama era. All started with his, yep. All started with his driving. So that goes on there just like that. I'm pretty sure that gap's going to get filled with something. I fully understand your lower back, because I have lower back pain, and Eric is our resident terminator. He has had back surgery. If he wants to talk more about that, that's great. I won't. Okay. The stem of this. Okay, so an AP screw goes on here, facing like this, and this valve points out this way. Let me see. Okay, there's no keyway on here, but there is, right there's a hole for that pin that's right there next to my finger. It's a plastic back surgery in 2010. They told me I'll never be the same and likely be back. If you have not been back, Todd, you are fortunate. My wife has been back once to remove scar tissue. Oh, wait. Eric said 3/4 of his back is rods. Ringing in the ears is from neck problems, from shooting the 50 all the time. Funny thing, I thought I had cervical spine issues at one point. It turned out I had a blown rotator cuff, and it was really blown. The doc went in for exploratory, and he was like, there was just a strand holding the whole thing together. So much silver, yes. Should use some marking pins to give it some color, or chrome pins. Well, the thing is, this may or may not ever be seen again. It will be covered up, I know that. And once they're on the shelf, I don't do much with them other than turn them on. What part of the bus? Right now I'm working on the engine. And I'm not sure if you were here when I started. This is a continuation on the chassis. Should be working on the chassis in a little bit. Oh, that's right. Todd just mentioned on our Discord, which there should be a link in the description to the Discord if you care to join, that today is the 11th. We can start on our group builds. We're doing a Halloween group build, and I forget what everybody's doing. I'm doing Christine. I think I'm not sure if you were here on last Monday, Mark, but I also did a Sunday stream last week. So an EM screw to go to hold this part on. This is the 24E. The cover goes through the tab here, right there into that screw hole down there. And that is an EM screw. Need to finish what's on the bench first. No, you don't. You never have to finish what's on the bench first. That's why I have not all of them being worked on, but I have about 15 models in work right now. Some of them not being worked on because I can't get parts from Eagle Moss or Fanhome. So the group build is it's the Halloween. We're doing a Halloween group build on Hobby Time Modelers, both on our Discord and on the Facebook site. So if you go over to the Facebook site, there should be information on there about it. I have 8 on the go. That's how it is. Wizard of Oz bus. That's right. She was doing the Wizard of Oz bus. I'm going to be doing Christine, doing up some of the paint on her as Freddy Krueger's shirt. Okay, so this, now that we've got this part on here, these valves are now going to go on here. Again, 2 AP screws. Just so you can't do it wrong, there's 2 screw holes, the pin hole. You can't put the pin in backwards. Pin only will fit one way. That's what she said. Eric is doing Forgotten Prison dial, figure and dial. I may actually, I've got some of the Jolly Roger ones, prisoners, and I may do 1 or 2 of them. Or not prisoners, but they're skeleton builds. It will be very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with the prisoner there, Eric. Had to change out the bit. Shu said he would be in, but he started his Hellboy a while ago. Throw something in. Doesn't have, I mean, seriously, it doesn't have to be anything complicated. And at this point, July 11th was just a random number. And Hobby Time said, hey to Eric. Now, July 11th was a random number up to Eric, who actually is running the group builds, if you can qualify with something that was put in earlier or was started earlier. Okay, that is on. It's flush. These guys are tearing up the Discord. Take the first line, 24B. Take one of these, the first one. Run it from here, from this pin right here, and it's going to run over to this pin right here, underneath the body of the engine. And again, I said this before, I really am impressed with these lines. I've done the some of the on the DeLorean, the lines on it were ugly to get on. They just, you had to use a pair of tweezers, and you ended up crushing the line to where it would not work. Sometimes you crushed it, pinched it off. So these next two are going to hook up here and here. So a total of 4 or a total of 3 lines at this point. I'm going to go ahead and hit both of these first. Bring this over. This one as well. I actually think something comes down and covers these lines once they're on there. So they go under there like that. Let me tweak this one just a hair. Under there like that. Go from here to here. Yeah, you'd have to pay off Eric, but it's not like he's expensive. Eric's cheap. Offer to send him a model. He'll be like, okay. Oh, you know what? I just looked. These three that I've got are actually supposed to be the center three. Instead, it was supposed to be, so there's one fixed. See how this one is away from the other two? These two have still got to move over as well. Leaving the last line there with nothing on it. Eric laughed at Shu and said, "Throw it in, Shu." That's what I figured. It's more. It's not so much about the rules as it's about people building stuff and having a good time at it. Shu said, "Thanks." And then this one line goes. This fourth one goes from here just up to this part here, like that. So turn this direction. And did I get that part out? I think I left it over. No, I didn't. So this is one of the parts that I made up last time. Should have been last Monday. It's the drive unit housing assembly from stage 22. Fit this flange. This flange right here is going to go in right here to those two lugs. Like that. And it's going to be screwed in with 2 EM screws. Dipped in oil. Let's get this one started and put the other one in as well. So that one's tight. That one's tight. So those are all in there. Let me tweak this line just a hair. So lines look like that. Come across to the other side like that. Hey, Donnie, welcome. Donnie just popped in. I'm guessing you just got home from work, Donnie? Eric said absolutely. Back to Shu. Eric said hey to Donnie. And Donnie did just get here from work. He works at the Nissan factory. Maybe someday they'll have parts. The whole chip shortage thing is affecting Nissan pretty badly. So fit the tank end, this part here, onto the tank. You can see, maybe, yeah, you can see there's a key right there. There's a keyway right there. Greetings all the way around. Push fit connections. Interest. Okay. I was going to say didn't feel like it was sticking. Supposedly they have chips now. That would be awesome. It would be awesome because I know you've been in and out of work because of the chip shortage. So my 24 or 20, H and I both have 2 pins that go in here. The H, just looking. Unfortunately, okay, like that, because the pins on these things are identical almost. So there's 2, a small and a large there, corresponding small and large pin here, push fit. Hopefully they have these things to where you can't put them on the wrong side. They do, and I'm trying to put them on the wrong side. I was trying to put these pins into these holes, but you can see there's slightly different distances between the holes. Go to the other side where it belongs, and it pops right in. And then same with this one, except for these pins are on this side, small and large, slides onto the cylinder just like that. And I think these are all brake lines. We move the screwdriver and the pieces I have here out of the way because this gets attached to the chassis. And I have the chassis upside down. Good. Just looking where this goes. Underside, some frame. Fixing point for this tank is right here. AM screw, actually, it's funny because it says identify the fixing point for the tank, circled. The circle is right here. The spot that you attach it is right here. Absolutely, Todd. So much silver. And so there's a pinhole and a screw hole here to correspond with this pin and screw hole there. So this is going to go on here like so. Got the pin in there. And it's going to take an AM screw. Thing about, there is a lot of silver on the bottom of the bus, but how often am I going to be looking at the bottom of the bus? Or anybody going to be looking at the bottom of the bus for that matter? Let me grab the other screwdriver. Where did I put it? There it is. I know you would, Todd. But the thing is, you do have 14 of these things going at one time. But I've got the Partworks plus other models going at the same time. Offering the gearbox. I always love the way it says offering casing from below. Making sure fixing tabs are in correct position. Okay, so this is going to actually face this direction. No. Those, okay. I'm looking at it, the picture, and what they're not saying is that they're actually turning this over. And let me see if I've got something handy. Actually, I do. Because I don't want to knock that line again. So this is going to come in here like this. You get your 3 mounting points there, there, and there. That's why you have to come up from below. Okay. Because it will not fit otherwise. So I got to come up from underneath like that. Get these lines out of the way. I'm looking at it, and I'm still not seeing it. Okay. It's 23D, which is this. Sorry, I'm off camera with it. This line here that I'm worried about goes into this hole here. So let me see if I can get that in there. I'm just looking. Right now I'm trying to figure out how the okay, this goes on there that way. And then it has all of these lines. Has all of these lines coming up this direction. Okay. Wrapping up through here like this. So Eric said he'd put a few M80s into it. Actually, you're doing good. Yeah, I know how you are, Eric. Bus go boom, boom. And Donnie's thinking about it. So these lines go up, and I got to come up from the bottom here, go up around this bracket in the front. That might help if I'm looking at it the right way. Yeah, I've got these lines going the wrong direction. Damn it. By the way, If anybody's counting, there went my PG rating. Real ones did that a few times, and yes, they did. That can't be right. No, okay. I'm looking at it wrong. These lines go around this bracket here. I'm looking at the picture. I'm not sure if it's this bracket or this bracket. It's this bracket here towards the generators and fans and all that. So it goes on there like that. So let me come up from the bottom here. In the immortal words of Wayne from World of Wayne, this is fiddly. So let me see if I can get this pipe in where it's supposed to be. Okay. There. Something like that. The pipe's in there. The wires are running over up towards the front, coming back down to that one. And so now tighten, put it, or sometimes with a little help, yes, indeed. So now let me get 3 FM screws out. And those are actually big ones. And actually attach this to the chassis. May not be 100% right, but it's the way I'm going with it. How can it be fiddly? That model is huge because there's some little bitty parts to this model and about 43 billion screws. Exactly. I'm running them where they are showing them, but if they end up getting crimped off, nobody's going to notice. Nobody will know but me and Donnie, because Donnie always wants to know this stuff. Actually, let me get a D'Agostini screwdriver. Let me get the right one because there's 2 different sizes on the D'Agostini screwdrivers as well. Okay, that one's tight, tight, tight. And actually, one of the lines, when I did these brake lines, one of them, the pin was broken off. They're actually doing the one that I had to glue on is actually doing very well. I couldn't tell you which one it is. Wait, what? I see nothing. Donnie's always talking about how we'll know it's wrong. So now these are supposed to be something like that. And Donnie, you're correct. Donnie only likes the bus if it has nacelles. Now you did it, Eric. Donnie's going to start talking about the Enterprise. Exactly. Everything should have warp drive. I think everything should have ludicrous speed. Okay. 23H. I'm not sure which one of these is H. This one. So it's going to plug in here to the transmission or to the differential. Ah, right there. That tells you which one's H. And actually, I just discovered something about the Routemaster bus. It's four-wheel drive because it also has a drive shaft that looks, at least it looks like it should be. Yeah, this drive shaft goes to the front. So let me get a, hang on, another FM screw. Add a warp core, nacelles, and would be an awesome model. Hey, I might have a warp core and nacelles left over from the Enterprise if they don't ever send me any more parts. Okay, so that puts that drive shaft in place. This cover with an AM screw hole here, pinhole there, matches up with these here. Cover actually sticks behind it, goes on there like that. They are for the Enterprise if the Enterprise ever gets parts. That's the key thing. That's a big if these days. I mean, yes, I did talk to Eagle Moss, and they claim that all they're doing is redoing their websites. I don't believe them. They are too fly-by-night most of the time. So now the drive shaft is locked in place. Let's engage warp speed, shall we, chaps? Maybe after a spot of tea. Yeah. It needs a turbo lift to go from deck 1 to deck 2. So the other drive shaft is not going in yet. That is, wait a minute. Where did I miss line number 4? This is where I get inventive. Because I missed right there where my finger is, that last pin. Line goes from there to right here. Yes, we can make the USS Routemaster AEC class. Food? What do you mean food, Eric? You ate yesterday, I think. So let me run this up from the bottom here. And of course, I've got awesome idea. You should listen to Todd. Depends on if they ever send us more enterprise parts. Looking, I've got the flashlight around here somewhere because it's just a hair too dark for me to see that pin clearly. Bad eyes. Come on. So you know, guys, the night that I pull out only one issue, because I think it's going to be a very difficult one, yeah, I'm going to have, it's going to go on, just everything's going to magically go perfect. Let me try it this way. And I'll have to pull out more issues. Night like tonight, when I pulled out a bunch of issues, because last time I've done streams where I had to get out more parts. Yeah, the first part has taken an hour. So let me pull that down through there. Come on. Bring it back up around here. And let me see if I can get that to feed through there. There we go. And come on. I'm ignoring the chat right now, guys, if you're saying anything, because I'm trying to get this thing to go on. Come on. Got it. So there's that line that runs from there to right there that I left off. It's 2 cold slices, some of the best pizza ever. You can't eat and watch at the same time. No, Eric's not that skilled. Don't tempt Eric to multitask. Heck, I'm coming and watching it. Wow. Cooking. Wow. Damn, that PG rating, if it wasn't gone before, is gone now. You have some weird fetishes, my friend. That's what she said. And now we are that PG-13 rating. No, I said shit earlier. Blew past the PG-13 thanks to Donnie. Let's go for NC-17. Sure, it was all correct. Wow. Okay. Make sure there are no pieces left over. So exhaust manifold and crankcase. Issue 25. I have to be careful when I'm not paying attention to chat. You guys will put me in jail. I don't know. Does YouTube have a jail? I know there's a Facebook jail. Always blaming autocorrect. Okay. Some more FM screws. So let's see. We have 25A, the oil sump. That would be this one. Left crankcase, right crankcase. Somehow I think these are labeled wrong in the instructions. Donnie does sound 17. Suspense ain't here. Okay. So this is 25D, the injection pump. 25E, fuel pipe. 25F is the fuel filter. I think this is G. G is a cap. It must be this one. 25H. Steering fluid reservoir. Power steering pipe. Supposed to be another cap. I think this is the cap, first cap. This is the second cap. 25K steering fluid injector. Flywheel drive, flywheel cover, shaft, exhaust manifold, flange, DP, and FP screws. All right, Shu. We'll still be here for a bit. Gee, thanks. My wife says I should be about 12 or sound about 12. Shu's heading home. Shu's been watching at work. He always watches at work because of the time difference. So some DP. Now, as long as you can still work, and I believe Shu's a computer tech, so he should be able to keep at his job while he's watching. FM screws. Okay, this one looks like it might take a bit as well. So 25Q, which was it this cap? No, this cap. It's the end of the exhaust manifold. And there is it's not going to focus. Trust me when I say it's a D-shaped pin and a D-shaped hole. So it slides in just like this. It goes on. It looks like that when it's done. Take the fuel filter and the left crankcase. Okay, I guess this is the left crankcase. Looks to me like it should be the center of the engine, but it's the left crankcase. Here's the hole. Goes all the way through. There is a keyway on there to match up with the keyway on here. It's a plastic part. The keyway is going to face down. So it's going to go on here like that. And then I need one of the DP screws I just put away. So, Todd, yes and no. I would probably build it if I didn't have other things going on, you know, other builds. But the keeper of the checkbook is kind of like, eh. And so am I. There's other things I'd rather build first. At least in American. Yes, it is. It is the engine. But it looked, with it being completely smooth on this side, I was thinking that this would go in the center. Damn it, EM, exactly. Okay, so put the steering reservoir on there. Again, there's a keyway there. The key is there on that part. Goes on here like so, and again with a DP screw. I'm not putting oil on these because they're going into plastic. And again, I point this out almost every stream. I'm sure you guys are tired of hearing it by now. But for people who may not have ever done one of these builds, the P denotes that it's going into plastic. That's how you can know for sure that you're which part is going where. Fit the cap on top of this. The reservoir, it is push fit. There's no keyway or anything like that. So this cap here just pushes on. Like that. Steering, let's see. Fit the steering fluid indicator to the side of reservoir. Oh. Okay, so the power steering fluid. This is where Todd would take that little piece in the middle out and replace it with fiber optic, because that would be your sight glass for the power steering fluid. And it should actually be clear with a line of fluid in it. Well, before I put it on there. It goes into these two holes, and it is, again, a push fit. That's something else that I really am impressed with the models that Agora acquires and sells. When they have push fits, they are push fit. They push in, they push in, they snap in, they stay in. And Todd agreed. He would put a clear sight glass on there. Nope, too late. It's already attached. So it pushes in there like that, and they don't pop out. Whereas with Eagle Moss, you have to glue all their push-in parts. Power steering fluid pipe, push fit, and it says you might want to hold it in place. So there's a pin on the end right there, goes into that third hole on this side. Being very careful because I don't want to snap it off. And it says masking tape. I guess I'm supposed to tape it to the air. I don't know, because it sticks out quite a ways there. I mean, you can see it here. Injection pump right here. It has a hole with a keyway. Something's going to go in there. And then 2 screw holes is what it looks like. This is going to stick out to the front. Something else is going to attach to it later. It goes on to these 2 holes here. Kind of like that. I'm going to get the DP screws and attach it from the other side. And it's a little bit wonky because there's nothing holding it to the side. It can actually sit there and go like that and fall over. I'm sure once these screws are in, it will solidify it. But right now it's kind of iffy. And yes, I keep using these micro miniature screwdrivers that they supplied. Why? Because I'm just not changing bits on the orange one. I should. There's that. Okay, it's tight. It feels like it might be stripped out. So on top of here, okay, this was a cap. There's a pin on here, pinhole here, pinhole here. Let's see if I can get this to where you guys can see it. Look, Todd, more silver. So there's a hole on the top there, a hole there, and a hole there. There is a key, which makes it, the keyway is right there. I don't know if you can see it, but it makes it go in one specific way. Interestingly, one hole is now pointing away from the engine, one hole is pointing straight up, and the third hole is pointing towards the engine. Well, what I was talking about with the silver was the silver tweezers. They probably did. And you know, they're not going to do a whole lot of detail painting to parts like the engine because you may never see it. Take the fuel pipe, and test fit it. Crankshaft assembly. Not want to move fuel pipe large in the end. Okay. It says test fit it to the crankshaft. One side is larger than the other. But then as soon as you test fit it, it says, okay, push it all the way in. And here, Todd said painted all sorts of things on DeLorean, never see them again. About as bad as engine detail inside the X-Wing. You know, Todd, because I lit my engines with a aftermarket kit from Falcon 3D Parts, I ripped the insides of my X-Wing engines out so that my stuff would fit in there better. So the keyway that I showed on the back of this part goes onto here. I see why it says test fit it, because you got to make sure you've got it lined up. Push the small end in first. That's probably as far as it's going to go. Get the larger end in. It's now flat. There we go. There's the fuel line. I can get out the red towel, guys. So we're done with this for right now. Take the 3 flywheel pieces, the flywheel itself. You can see there are holes here, a couple of lugs there that match up. And then these pins that go all the way through on the cover. There we go. So that goes on there like that. And let me double check. Okay. And this part here is going to go in from the flywheel side all the way through. Lug that sticks out, the tab is going to be in line with the screw holes, and a DP screw is going to go. Let me get a better screwdriver. It should be this one. So this DP screw is going to go through here. Okay, that's in line now. And then 2 more DPs are going to go from this side. Maybe. There's one. Get the second one started. See if I can keep from cross-threading it. So, like that. Check the flywheel. Rotates if it's stiff, loosen DP screw that was used to fit. Okay. I thought it had to be tightened all the way down, but no, it does not. The flywheel has to be able to rotate. It doesn't spin, it just rotates a little bit. there's the oil sump. There's a little slot here. That's where the flywheel is going to attach, just like that. And it's going to use an FM screw. A little bit of oil on it. I don't like that. As loose as it is, that screw's going to back out and disappear forever. That's too tight. So, just so that it doesn't back out and disappear forever, I'm going to take the screw back out. Leave that sitting there. By God, I bought this stuff for this build. I'm going to use it. Thread locker. Whoa. Very liquid thread locker. So now let me put it back down in here. A little bit looser. Okay, now it spins. Hopefully it's not going to come off. On tabs with the right crankcase. And I figured out why when I mess with this plastic it makes so much sense, so much noise. My microphone is right there. So take the right crankcase, line the tabs with center. Would be good if I put it on the right side. Lock it down with 2 FM screws. Hey Oz, welcome. Oz is in the house, guys. I think I need a slightly smaller screw, or slightly larger screwdriver. Yeah, that's better. Working on the Routemaster again, Oz. I'm using the extension so that I can get a better straight on with the screws. I hate having to go in at the side from the side because of the screwdriver width. So I just thought of something, Todd. Did you redo the paint on your Ghostbuster car? Because I know that Kaylin really irritated about that, about all the blue. Well, that's it. So we've got the two sides of the crankcase and the exhaust manifold. $620. Okay, we're going to $730. I know that, but Kalen was just absolutely beside himself with the blue. He just did not like it. And apparently it's got really, really good paint. Because from what I understand, he soaked it for like weeks. Simple green, stuff like that. And it just would not come, the color would not come off. I left it because, again, once these models are built, they go on a shelf. All I ever do is turn on the lights. Stack of parts here, and I'm about to throw a hubcap away. I almost didn't, not a hubcap, I don't think. I think it's a sticker, but I almost didn't see it. Which is part of the reason I go through all the parts as I take them out. Cylinder head, just saw it. There's one. Apparently there's two of those. There's the other. They got the fan, a couple of pulley parts. As I do this, I'm doing it both for you and for me. Just so that I'm lining up the parts, the axle for the fan, I'm lining them up in an order so that I know exactly where each part is. Starter motor half, two halves to the starter motor, 26K. The alternator. That looks like the alternator, 26L. Alternator cover. Two very small pulley parts. Alternator cradle. We'll put the screws over here. This is the oil filler neck. Very nice. Oil filler cover that's actually going to have a flap. Front housing. Back plate. Connector. Stub pipe. $26M. What was that? Alternator front. Oh, okay. Alternator cover. Alternator front belongs there. Painted a few things, not very much. That was on the Ghostbuster car. Learned on the Enterprise not to waste a bunch of time that are not easy to see, like the engine. Oh, you mean the DeLorean? Yeah, on the DeLorean, there's so much that you can do to the engine that you never see. I never did do the mod for the flux capacitor or the Christmas tree, though. I occasionally wish I had, but depending on which one you get, that's another $200. Okay, guys, Eric's back. Let's shut down the stream. Just kidding, Eric. I am probably, just based on the number of parts, probably going to end up going about another hour. BP. You know I wouldn't do that to you, Eric, unless it was 7 o'clock. What food did you have, Eric? Was it good food? And yay, because we're staying on. More DP screws. Burger King. I think I might have something similar. That's why Andrea called in the middle of the beginning of the stream, was because she was picking up food, hoping to get home before I started the stream. So take the alternator and fix the front, this part here. So the alternator in the front, like so. Hold it in place with a DP screw. Take the extension off right now. There's a hole inside the cover that goes into the front. Of course, when I hit the hole, I fell out, or fell off the screwdriver. So I got new shelves in the display room, so I can finally get it reset up sometime in the near future. By near future, I mean next couple of months. I can get it set up, and we'll do a video of it. So take the rear cover. This push fit connection. There's a key right there. Keyway for it right there. Pushes together like that. And take these two pulley pieces, one with the larger hole, it's going to go on first with the ring towards the bag. Second one is going to go over top of it with the ring facing it, like that. And then a DP screw is going to hold it together. If I can get only one. Gah! Okay. We put these back in here. Take the oil sump. Oh, that 26p. Okay, 25A, this being the oil sump. Take 26p, which is the alternator cradle, and attach it. That goes up like that. Okay, so there's a groove there that this fits into like that, and then 2 CM screws are going to hold that in place. Oil. Get the first one started. Get the other one of oil. Get the second one started and actually tighten it all the way down. And tighten the other one down. Now I can go back and tighten this one the rest of the way. And that holds the alternator bracket just like that. Take the 2 parts of this. Oh, there I go, skipping steps again. Take the alternator, 2 screws on the bottom, put the pulley to the front, put the screw holes to the bottom, line it up with the screw holes in the bracket. And get 2 DP screws. So that one started. Come on. It's in. Looks like the Loctite is holding that screw in place. I rotated it and it's not doing anything at all. So now take the 2 halves of the starter motor, two posts with screw holes, 2 holes for the screw posts to go into, goes together like that, and then of course 2 more DP screws from the outside. Oh, and just to let you guys know, the most recent shipment from Agora came. So I now have through pack 8. Since we're working on pack 3 at this point, I should have, well, I'm hoping to keep getting enough packs to where I don't finish before I run out of stuff to do on the bus. So there's the alternate, or there's the starter. The starter is going to mount right there, those 2 holes, right next to the flywheel. And as usual, there is a pin and screw set up there. And it's a CM screw that goes in there. It's funny, I don't recall seeing this issue, a note saying CM and DP screws are the same, except for one turn and one goes into metal, one goes into plastic. Sure. So starter motor is now attached. Take the fan mounting axle 26G, the two pulley parts. This one with the smaller ring on it goes to towards the fan. So like that, and then there's an indented area on the fan, so it'll go against that like that. And I'm looking, almost looks like it felt like it didn't want to go in there. Let's see. Concave towards. Oh, okay. I thought that indent went towards the ring here. It does not. The smaller hole on the other side with the concave part of the fins towards the axle goes on like that. And then we get a DP screw up. Decapitated your lawn, waited too long to do it, needed more of a bush hog. I actually know exactly what you're saying there, Eric, because I've done the same thing before. Let's do it this way. I was hoping the flat back of the screwdriver would hold it up right. Actually, right now, Andrea, because of my back and stuff like that, won't let me do the lawn. Jordan will do the lawn, or nobody will do the lawn right now. So let me get this stacked back together. This time, see if I can get that black screw through the black fan into the silver parts. Todd loves silver parts. Let me just look, because they made, oh no, this is the opposite. Never mind. The flywheel, I was told, it said to make sure it can spin. So there's the fan and the pulley. Which is now going to go on this side using that post and that gap there with the belt over top the ring. Wow. My fan belt looked like that. I don't know if you're going to be able to, there, you can see a little bit. My fan belt looked like that because it's on both sides. I would be changing that thing. Before it breaks. So it's going to go on there like that. These can all go back in. I was thinking it's going to use a DP screw, but actually it's going into metal. This time we're using an FM screw. You asked about StreamYards, if you can just use it for broadcast. And yes, you can record. You know, it's for both. Thing is, Shu, we have very limited amount of recording space. You know, it's 50 hours, which is actually a lot of space, but we just need to clear it out every now and then. So there's, we get that screw down in there. So now we'll take the tweezers gently, ever so gently, pull the belt over. And I didn't even twist it. So there's the belt for the alternator. Yeah, that's what I'm doing with my live streams as I go. Once I get done, once I'm done with them, I usually will delete them. So now, like I said earlier, and I thought it was really cool, just take 2 BP screws. You have the fuel filler cap here. And it's got holes in it on either side. There's holes in the cap. Don't worry about it. Shoot. Go ahead and record on StreamYard. We got 50 hours. If we start running out of space, I'll mention it to you. It's not a big deal. I mean, we all own this account. Get the black screws. Earlier in the build, we had silver BP screws. The BP screw is going to go in from either side. Those are the really small ones. Now, the thing about using the StreamYards for your recording your videos, is you can get the overlay like I've got at the top. Tighten this side. Interesting. It's not, one side's not going in at all. There we go. So, fuel filler pipe, fuel filler cap. Just make sure that one is loosening as I turn it. Okay. This goes on the left crankcase. Down here on that part that sticks out in the front. Sticking out towards the front like that. There's a hole in there. That tab fits into, and then a screw goes through there, and that's going to be a DP screw. would be helpful if it would thread into the back, the part that's behind. Let's see if I can get that to go in. Better. Just make sure it felt like it pulled away. So oil filler is on with the cap. Todd would paint that black or drill a hole through. Back onto the other side of the crankcase. Fit the stub pipe. No keyway or anything like that. It just goes on there. Like that. It's kind of funny. The one that in the book doesn't show a hole in it like this one has. A DP screw to hold it in. Let me try that again. It started coming. Almost it got it in the hole and then it veered off. It shows the picture that it's pretty much straight up. So I'll tighten it like that with it being straight up. Like so. Actually slightly off the straight up, but if it needs to move, I will move it. Take the back plate and the front housing. This has got 3 screw holes and 2 tabs. There's 2 tabs have screw holes in them, 2 slots, 2 sockets, screw hole here. Sockets go in towards the part like that. And then 2 CM screws are going to lock those 2 parts together. Tighten this together. That's tight. The other side. Not really too happy with that gap in the top, but we'll see if that actually is going to show when I attach it. There's a hole here in the bottom as well. Line the two eyelets with the two tabs up here. Like that. And then tighten it down with two CM screws. Probably wipe the oil off when I grab the end of the screw. I will know it's there, yes. And actually, Eric, funny, that's kind of a funny question. So first, we showed Donnie's comment. He's right. Even if that gap doesn't show, I'll know it's there. And Eric asked about the top half separating from the bottom. And actually, I think it might be able to take the top off. Wow. So I might have to take these out. I didn't have to take these out or loosen them to get this to go in. Two times FM screws. Take the crankcase left side, and it's going to fit on here like that. It's two posts inside with screw holes, two posts with sockets for those posts to fit into. And two FM screws to hold it together. Todd says he doesn't think the roof comes off. I don't know for sure. I haven't made it that far. It would kind of be cool if it did, but if not, no big deal. Yes, you could. Give Eric a chainsaw, he'll fix anything. That's the first one started. This one is going to need the extension. M80, the tool of choice. Okay, so that locks the crankcase together. Takes it 26A, fill it over the brace screw. There's different arrangement screw holes around the rim. So there are different, let's see, is there anything that it says inside? No, there is not. Well, it's a good thing I looked, because paint is blocking that hole there. Ah, these are the holes that are in question. This has to go towards the flywheel, to the back. This part goes to the back, this one goes to the front. So they're going to go on. Not quite like that. Like that. Those are going to be tightened down with FM screws. I think the Routemaster can do the Kessel run in 5 parsecs. I think. Don't quote me on that. Interesting that there are 2 sets of posts in there. Before I tighten the other one down, let me just see. Ah, that's because there's a pin in there. Which makes sense. It keeps the head from rotating on the engine. I wasn't supposed to tighten these screws yet. I'm supposed to fit this part in first. More like the night bus from Harry Potter. Could be, yeah, actually. You could actually make the night bus with this kit, but you'd need like at least 2. So you can make it, I think the night bus was actually like 4 decks. Okay. That's the part that they said to put on before you tighten the screws. RV from Spaceballs could do that. Use the Enterprise nacelles. So that's got those tightened on. That's what these logos are for. It says to peel the sticker paper off. It was a Winnebago RV. I believe it actually is the same RV that, or same type of RV that they used in The Walking Dead. That is one that I would like to get as a kit. Let's see if I can coax this in this place. No, don't stick to the top of the engine. I'm trying to put it on facing a specific direction. And it's saying, I don't think so. The other one, grabbed it and didn't get it. This one is on pretty close to straight, but not 100%. And I just put it on them on opposite directions. Hang on a second. Let me find the blade. Fix this one. Had it in completely upside down then. There are the logos. Just looking. Now that's too much. That would take me almost to 8 o'clock. The next thing is doing the front axle, and I would, but it would take longer than I want to work on this tonight. Put these away real quick. The exhaust manifold is right here. Actually, I'm thinking it's going to go on this side. Doesn't say to put it on yet. I'm just going to. Close this up. Get it out of the way. Still have this brake line. So here's the motor. Close that. The screwdriver's out the way. Bring this puppy back over. This motor is going to mount. Oh, it's not that they're dopey me. This isn't running to the front wheels. This is running to the engine. So the engine is going to sit up here somewhere. About like that. Maybe on a Sunday afternoon, but not on a Monday morning. I got classes tomorrow, and so it's, tomorrow's going to be boring enough that I don't want to fall asleep while I'm at work. So let me switch cameras. Okay. And I've been fighting the sun here. That's what the chassis looks like. Let me see. Chassis looks like at this point. I still think this is going to sit off about back here. Oh, and you can't dope me. I'm showing you guys stuff. I switched cameras. But no, I think it's looking pretty good. I like the fact that the chassis goes together really quickly. I mean, that was actually step, let me take a look. So I was step 26. So I'm just over a quarter of the way, just over a quarter of the way done with the bus. Target all goofies. I know better, Eric. And you know I have goofies everywhere. I mean, I've got one goofy that's been standing here the whole time. You are welcome, Todd. You are absolutely right. It was I had a lot of fun. I'm enjoying this build. This is one of the better builds I've done. It's the goofy hat. You betcha, Hobby Time, or GB as we used to know you. Thanks, Donnie. And you are right. The bus is looking good. So you guys have a great evening. Take care of yourselves out there. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you on Discord and Friday night stream. If nothing else, if not before, you know, if anybody else jumps on or wants company on a stream, I'll pop in. And take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Be careful out there. Have a great tomorrow. Like and subscribe if you like this content, and we will catch you next time. There it is.